And student alumni interaction cell, I welcome you all. So also my hearty welcome to my friend as well as our alumnus, Mr. Sankalp Jain. And now I request you to formally introduce him and start the program.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Somik Rajchandri. I am from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, second year, United Durgapur. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. I am honored to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Sankalp Jain, to our offline eminent alumni meet. As an alumnus of the 1999 batch of Mechanical Engineering from NIT Durgapur, he has gained extensive experience in the field of finance and technology. He currently holds the position of Vice President at Jefferies, Australia, and has previously held several leadership roles as Vice President at Mizuho, Japan, and also as an Associate Consultant at Oracle Financial Services Limited. During this eminent alumni lecture, he will be sharing his valuable insights on career opportunities in the finance and technology sectors. He will also be providing guidance on higher education options, placement opportunities, and also about working abroad in countries like Australia and Japan. His experience and knowledge will be an invaluable resource for all of us as we embark on our professional journey. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Sankalp Jain and would like to request him to take over the session.
I request Chandrima to welcome you. What is this? This is the former charity.
Oh, thank you, Jain. Thanks a lot, Shavendra. Does this works? Hello? That's fine. What was your name?
Somik Rajchandri.
Somik. Okay, thank you, Somik, for the kind introduction, and thank you, Shivendra, for arranging this. I really appreciate all the efforts done by you, Shivendu, for the alumni cell. I think it's all because of Shivendu that we have got alumni cell. Because 1999, when I was there, people don't even know what was alumni. So it's all Shivendu's effort that he started his alumni cell about, I think, 6-7 years, I think, right? 6-7 years he started.
2017.
2017, yeah. So he's done a pretty good job. So and because of him, I thought it's a good idea. I should just come here and share my experiences and like because same institute, right? So you guys are like, I won't do this thing in like different NIT. Like I go to NIT Jamshedpur or Shibpur or any college. I won't do that. I will do it only here, just because I am emotionally attached to this institute. I was here for 95 to 99, 4 years mechanical engineering, department of mechanical engineering. Shibendu, Kallol, we were all the same batchmates. So my roll number was 95 to 34, Kallol Khan was 95 to 233. So we were together. Shibendu, I don't know. What was his roll number? I think it was 25. Which one?
209.
209. So he was a bit distant. But he was a bright student. He was like probably top 5 or top 10. So he was top 1. He was top 1. And I'm Kallol and Mudvis are probably like about average. I was like below average. So anyways, ranks don't matter. That's the first point, is neither rank, neither percentage, they don't matter. For career, they don't matter at all. You have to just get 60%, that's it, done. I'm not saying don't try to achieve what you want to, but what I'm saying is percentages don't matter at all. For corporate world, nobody asks you how much you got in your like graduation or post-graduation. Nobody cares about it. Just you need to get into the industry, keep performing well, and that's it. Nobody cares. You got 60%, 61. There are people who are like 91%, who are 60%, who are the 60%. They are doing better than who are 91%. So nothing matters. Percentage doesn't matter at all. But having said that, keep doing what you're doing. So that's important. Look, what I'm saying is like don't feel like okay, percentages are not important, so I don't care about my my education, but that's not the case. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so percentage are not at all important. Even if you are somebody who is saying I am 60%, what will happen to my career? Nothing would happen. You guys will shine. So so little bit introduction about myself. There is I think a slide here. Yeah, so that's one. So 95 by 95. So I am a mechanical engineer by education. So yeah, please come in. I'm a mechanical engineer by education, as it is written. I was placed in a company, Scooters India Limited. Does anybody know about that company? Mechanical guys. Does anybody know about Scooters India Limited? It was an automobile company. It used to manufacture two-wheeler. Lambretta. Have you heard about that? Does anybody know about it? Three-wheeler also. Does anybody know about it? Nobody knows. So yeah, that company I think didn't came it after that. After that batch. So I got selected in that one. That was my first company. That was basically for mechanical. I think 4 people were selected. I went there.
JD also there?
JD was there. Yeah. JD, myself, Raja, and Dennis Matthew. So we all were there for Lucknow. All 4 of us there, and slowly we just changed our career. So then I switched to IT. So I thought the company was okay, but future was not bright, and then most of my colleagues in 1999 they wanted to go to, like, they were in IT, most of them were in IT, and I thought, should I go to IT, shouldn't I go to IT, should I continue in core discipline? I'm not sure, but I took that decision. So it's also now, having said that, 4th one, right? So anyone here in final year right now, and who is not placed? Anyone in final year who is not placed? Whosoever is there, they all placed there. Okay, that's fine. So what the point here is, if you are not placed in final year, it's not end of the world. And if you are placed in a company which is you don't like, I mean, I don't want to be placed, but that's not end of the world. So placement is just a start. Placement is not like, this is not going to decide your career. Placement is to just give you it's kind of a buying a time, going to outside the world of your college, and it's buying you a time so that you take some time, you get independent, you get your own money, you spend it, and then you decide your career. So placement is not at all like, okay, this is my place, I'm going to make your career there. No, not at all. You can switch your career whenever you want. But if you want to switch it early. So what I did like automobile engineer, I was there for a year, and then I thought, okay, let's try. IT is the booming part at that time, and I went to TCS, worked there for like 3 years. I think TCS might have come here for campus. TCS is like major recruiter right now. So I worked there for 3 years. Then I switched to iFlex, and that was iFlex. It used to be iFlex. Does anybody know what is iFlex? Anybody heard about the company iFlex? It's an iFlex financial services. It's kind of most of the clients are the financial services clients, like Citigroup and Citigroup is a major one. Okay. Oh, does it work? Okay, that's good. That's okay. So yes, I was there for financial. So I switched my career to TCS. Is was a more of a like engineering kind of domain, and so I thought that financial services might be the right thing to do if you want to like progress your career. So I switched to financial service. Oracle. It used to call iFlex. Later on, it changes to Oracle Financial. I don't know whether it comes here for campus. Do you know? It comes Oracle Financial Services. Oh, it used to be iFlex earlier. They changed the name. I was there for probably like 2-3 years, I guess. And Oracle Financial Services, they were placing like me to almost everywhere there in the world. I was in Singapore, I was in Sydney, then they sent me to Japan, all over the places. I think my client was UBS at that time. So what I realized at that time, so there is one thing which will come up right at the end, which we'll discuss, is IT service versus captive IT. Who are in the IT branch of computer science here? How many people? Raise your hands. Few more, couple of them, 3. Okay. Or about ECE. Okay, that's nice. So this might be interesting for you guys. So the point here was going back here. Yeah, this one. So that we'll come to the last point is like when I realized that when we are working for the services company, right? So main thing which I found out that you actually don't work for that company. What you are doing is, so let's say in Oracle Financial Services, right? So my client was UBS. So I was actually working on the UBS client side. I was not working for the company Oracle Financial Services. When I'm working on the UBS client side, what I realized is that you're working for UBS, you're sitting there, but your main company is Oracle Financial Services. What are you doing here? Why are you working for UBS then? Why don't you work for the same company which you're the client? Now you should actually work for UBS. You should not be working for the IT services company. That's when we'll come at the last point. So what I decided that point is I should try to switch my career on the other side. So other side means rather than working for IT services company, you work for the company where you are working for. So that's where I took a decision. I got an opportunity to work for Mizo Securities. So in Oracle Financial Services, when I was there, my main client was UBS. It was an equities IT. So equities means think about like capital markets. And so I thought of doing why should we work for the companies which they don't pay you the money? You should work for the company which you kind of want to prove yourself. So you work for a company like Mizo or any company, so there's no company in between, right? So whatever work you do, you feel okay, I'm working for my own company. That's where I switched for Mizo Securities and I worked there for 14.5 years. That was my main career and I was in equities IT. After that I shifted to Jefferies. So right now I'm working with Jefferies Australia. There's also same in equities IT. And capital markets from last couple of years. So that's where I am right now. Any question about my career? Anything? Any question you guys want to ask? Okay, so higher education. How many of you guys think that higher education is important? And how many of people you want to do higher education? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, where do you want to do it? In India or overseas? How many want to do in India? How many want to do in India? Okay, couple of them. How many want to do in overseas? Okay, good. For overseas ones, do you think we have got funds? How will you get the funds? Do you arrange the scholarships, other things? Can you stand up? You want to do in overseas? Can you stand up? Just explain. You want to do in overseas, right?
Yeah.
Where, in US or where?
US.
Have you got the funds arranged?
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet, right? So that's a key point, right? So for me, I thought like overseas education is important. I am not at all. My first and last education is this college, Bachelor of. It was used to call PE, but now BTech. So Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Technology, 1995 to 99 was my first and last education. I never went to any overseas education. I never did MS. I never did MTech. I never did MPA, and I never did any part-time MBA. So what I felt, right? What I feel is, okay, you can sit down. Yes, so what I feel is, for the way my career has surrounded, what I feel is, why? Okay, so let's say work for the company. Okay, have you guys done internship or people who are doing internship are already outside? They are not here, right? So they're probably okay. So maybe you want to work for the company where you did an internship, or you might not be okay. So let's say going back to the higher studies, right? So we'll come back with that one. So let's do the higher study one, like this one. So what are the advantages and disadvantages, right? So advantages, of course, long-term benefit of job progress. You want to do that. Opportunity to change the field you are interested in. So maybe you are in right now mechanical. You want to change it to computer science. Probably you can do that. Master graduates are recognized more in the workplaces, of course. Yes. Advantages of part-time. You can there are some part-time also. It's not like that you want to do overseas education. You can't do masters. You can't do it now. You can do it later also. Part-times are also available. A lot of people are doing that. But frankly speaking, I don't see an advantage of that. So disadvantages. Let's talk about this one, right? So you do your masters, 2 years. You are wasting your 2 years. So wasting means your number of years of experience reduces by that. You are missing on your number of years of experience, you are missing on your salary, you are not going to earn in that time. You are getting a loan from somewhere, you are putting that much, you are putting a liability on yourself that once you do your education completely, you need to repay that, right? You need to repay. If you are highly experienced, it does not matter whether you are okay. That's where number 6 point is. I thought of doing this kind of masters, right? Should I do, should I not do, and the way my career has progressed, I never like got a time to think, okay, should I do or should I do, and never felt the need of it. In the corporate industry, right? If you're in corporate industry, if you are experienced enough, postgraduate doesn't matter. Nobody is going to ask you, okay, have you done post? So there is a guy in graduation, he's standing here, the guy who is in postgraduate. They might be doing the same work. The guy who is postgraduate has done, he's devoted his 2 years there, he has put his money there, he's put his effort there, he's doing the same thing as me. So what it is. So my experience says, I'm like 22 years, I'm not going to do any postgraduate anymore. So my experience says, doing post-graduation is probably not important. If you want to stay in corporate world, you want to do your, in IT, especially you want to do in IT. Financial, I'm in a financial technology, so I don't see any. So that's what my experience with post-graduation is. I'm not saying you should not do it. Go ahead, try it, but these things are important. You need to arrange your funds. Don't try to depend on your parents, like, okay, my parents are there, they will arrange the funds. No, that's not your job. You guys are 22 years. It's your job to arrange the funds, it's your job to arrange the scholarship, it's your job to do everything. Don't ask your parents to fall for their funds. That doesn't happen in any other country. In any other country, talk about Australia or any Western country, once you're 22 years, parents leave them. If you want to do postgraduate, arrange your own thing, arrange your own funds, do everything by yourself. It's your job. So if you think you can arrange the funds by yourself or whatever way, or you wait for 2 years. Other way is like you wait for a couple of years and then go for like arrange the funds and then do your postgraduate. You can do that way. So, but yeah, so that's an important thing. If you want to do overseas, yeah, make sure you've got funds available. It's very, very, very important. Because I've seen people who went to overseas and then 2 years and they need to somehow arrange how do I pay the loan and this thing, you can get into stuck into that thing. So yeah, think twice. If you arrange the funds, well and good. Go for a scholarship, try to get a scholarship if you can. So any questions here on higher education? Any other question anybody wants to ask, like if they are confused, okay, should they do, shouldn't they do? Any questions you have? Anybody who wants to do higher education, if there are any question in the mind, please ask me. Go ahead.
Sir, first we can do job and arrange the funds for ourselves and then we can go for postgraduate.
That's a good point, but good point. You can do that. Now with postgraduate, right? What I'm thinking, what I should do, if I put myself into time machine and go back in 1999, what I should have done. Now postgraduate, what I think is with all the options like MBA, MTech, MS, whatever, my thing is MBA is the most important. MBA is the most lucrative one, but it's not cheap. It is very costly. And if you are doing MBA, do it from the top Ivy League colleges. Don't do it from any like normal college. Top Ivy League, I'm saying top Ivy League in US, UK, India, only top Ivy League. Don't go to any other university. For that, yes, correct. You do your job experience, gain job experience, earn money, save money, and go for postgraduate. That's a good strategy, and that's what probably you should do. Because if for postgraduate, if you have got experience plus postgraduate, then if you get paid, then I think your career would be better. I think that's a very good point, and I totally second that. You should do that one rather than going for this thing. If you don't have funds, do that way. Correct. I'm not saying 2 years. You should even get experience of 5 years. I would say experience of 5 years. Go for top Ivy League colleges, MBA. It is very, very costly. Very costly. So you have to make sure you get your funds arranged by yourself. Little bit loan you can take, means 50% loan, 50% fund, but you can't take all of the loan. Otherwise, after you graduate, you will just paying the loans. So what's the point? You can't do that. Yeah, that's a good point. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to say that postgraduate and higher study is not my matter. Because sir, when I have done an intern in IT industries, then I saw that maximum higher authority means tech head, it means HR head, and maximum authority is diploma. He have not done BTech or MTech or
Yeah.
other things.
Right.
He only done diploma degree, and he controlled all the overall industries.
Okay. Yeah. So postgrad, yeah. If you want to, but I'm saying you are a live example here. I have not done a single postgraduate study. First and last study, this college. That's it. Done. Nothing. I've been just working, and whatever experience I've got, 22 years of financial technology. That's it. Yeah, you're right. If you want to do postgraduate, do that way. Otherwise, not required. Postgraduate is, for me, it's a waste of time. Purely waste of time. 2 years. You are not earning that time. You are putting loan, this, that. And now the part-times are coming. If you really want to do postgraduate, part-time MBAs are there. If you want to do it, go ahead. But again, it's a waste of time. Postgraduate, there are a lot of part-time MBAs, they are doing the same thing as me. So no point. So that's what my conclusion is. Any other question? Okay, so about, okay, number 2 point, which is actually important one. So is about the placement, right? So are there any guys here in final year who are thinking that they might not get placed or anything like that? They kind of in a fear, like, oh, if I don't get placed, what will happen, and or whatever company I want, I didn't get the job. Or so what the main point is, what I'm saying about this is whatever company you get in placement, doesn't matter what crappy company it is. They might be paying you a crappy salary, crappy job, whatever. Always take that. Don't deny it. Take it, work for that company, buy some time, and then whatever you want to do that. So if you are placed in a crappiest company, you're paying, oh, they are paying a like meager salary, and should I work or shouldn't I work? Go for it. Because you have an advantage being in an ITD that there are companies coming here, they are taking you, right? So there are a lot of colleges where people are not getting placed. If you are getting placed, whatever company you are getting placed, whatever crappiest, just go ahead, get it, buy the time for like 6 months, 7 months, and then take time, and then you go whatever you want to do. So that's the point. So now, what was one thing which is one point I wanted to cover is work if you don't have a place. Okay, not happy with the job. Yeah, you should. I just told you should do that. Is earning money important as soon as you are passed out? Okay, that's a very good question. So what do you guys think? So how many people think that earning money is important as soon as you are passed out? Number one. So those who are not raising, they don't think that earning money is not important? Is it? Sure? Where, if you are earning money is not important, where are you getting the money from? From some place, right? Want to depend on your parents? Okay. So what I believe, earning money is very important. So that's what I told you like a couple of minutes back is, it doesn't matter what company it is, go for it. Because you don't want, after 22 years, after 21 years of age, you don't want a burden on your parents. You don't want that. You want yourself to be independent. It doesn't matter whatever salary is going for it, because earning money is important. Once you are out of college, if parents are not going to support you, where are you going to get the money? Somewhere. Here you are not earning money, right? Nobody is earning money here. You are studying here, right? After you are out, what are you going to do? You are in a world of corporate world. Oh shit! I need to go to some city and you want to even find out a job. So you need to go there and be there and get whatever it is. Getting money, earning money is important as soon as you are out of college. Until if you have a funds, well and good. If not, then it's very important. So yeah, which field you are like to progress your career into? If you are an ITC or thinking of taking your now. Here, how many of you guys are in like non-IT branches? Can you raise it? Non-IT, non-EC. Okay. So what are your branches? Can you just tell me? How many are mechanical? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. You guys want to be mechanical or continue mechanical or switch to IT? Huh? How many want to switch to IT or mechanical ones? What those who are not raising and they want to be mechanical, core mechanical? Are you? So yeah, sure. Okay, I'm not saying he's there. He is a professor here, so he's from mechanical. There are a lot of my friends. Were. So just for my like experience, my batch, right? So in 1999, mechanical we had about 84 students, not like 180 right now. Out of 84, as far as I know, about 20% are still sticking to their core discipline, like mechanical. 80% actually switch to IT. Now, the point here, what I'm conveying is, if you want to switch to IT, switch it early. Don't switch it late. Okay, and the main point there is, which will come here. Yeah, switch from discipline. So the question is, if you want to switch to IT, do it right now. Don't wait late. So that means not wait late means, let's say you go to L&T IT, not L&T IT, L&T, the core mechanical company. They get you, take you, you work there for a couple of years, 3 years, and then you think, oh man, this is not the job I want to do. Then you switch to IT, right? So what you are doing is, you are missing your experience, you are wasting your 3 years of time, okay, 3 years of time. When you enter into IT industry, you will enter as a no IT experience. Of course, you will think, okay, I have got an experience of this mechanical engineering, then would that help you in IT? I am doubtful. So you are making your career go back to 3 years. You're wasting, you're doing your 3 years which you have done, kind of just subtracting that. What is the point I'm saying is, if you want to switch it now. Do it early in your career. Don't do it late. There are people who have done it late. They are successful, but their experience in IT industry becomes less. So do it early. Do it in a couple of years. My suggestion is do it in your institute itself. If you want to switch to IT, do it now. If not, in next 1 year or 2 years. If you do it very late, like you work for 3 years in Tata Steel or L&T or like my company, Scooters India or whatever, and then you try to switch, you'll be wasting your 3 or 4 years. So yeah, any question on that one? Let's go back that one. Keep switching back and forth. We're done. Okay, this was one of topic I wanted to cover. Yeah, so if you're not placed, let's say, what are your like fallback options if you are not placed from this college? Can anybody tell me what is your fallback option? Anybody? Who doesn't want to do overseas or like MS or MTech post graduation? Let's say you are not placed from the college. What are your fallback? What are you going to do? Yeah, go ahead.
Go for government exams.
Go for government exams. So, okay, point is, but while you are doing government exam, then what are you going to do in that time?
In that time, I can go for asking work wherever I am. I make it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thanks. Go for government exams. Fall back for higher studies, which I have already told you. One option is there. Networking with fellow batchmates, yeah, that's very important. Now you've got alumni cell here. So, how many alumni cell members are here? 1, 2, oh, many of them. So I think for you guys, I'm not sure whether you guys do that or not. Like, you should like, I think you guys should be quite active on LinkedIn. So, for those people who are not placed, so you guys should keep a like link with the like okay, you're connected to me, connect to all the people who are like passed out from this college. But do you guys do that?
Yes.
Yeah. So do that on a regular meet. Connect and then you need to be in touch with them regularly. Okay, like so that will actually you guys can help the people who are not placed. So that's where the networking with fellow batchmates who are already placed is very, very important. Look out for jobs, say internet, LinkedIn, social media is already there. NITD placement cell. So placement cell is different, right?
Now it is Career Development Center, renamed.
Career Development Center. So do they work with alumni these days, or they are two departments?
Students only.
So this is only for students. Oh, okay. I was thinking like maybe
No,
they should.
previously, actually, 3 years back, it was under the same head.
Okay.
Placement cell as well as alumni cell,
Okay.
under the same HOD, even same head. Now it has been separated.
Okay. Yeah. Relocating to cities with higher number of jobs. Yeah. So that's one thing. After we told like while you are writing the exam, you should go to the cities with a higher number of jobs. That means like Bangalore, Mumbai, and those places. And now you guys know about the layoffs, right? Recent layoffs. So Microsoft, Google, Amazon, which else? What are the companies? Meta. Are these companies come here for campus? Which one? So have they decided what is going to happen to those people who are placed? Did they tell? Huh? They are holding?
Amazon frees the placement process
Okay.
in our college,
Okay.
and Microsoft,
No issues as of now. Yeah. So now these companies that is a red flag for everyone, right? So everyone wants to work for these companies, and you know what has happened, right? So I'm not sure what do we do with that, but yeah. So don't always like go for product-based companies. That's one topic which will come up later. Like what companies should you choose for? Product-based companies like Microsoft, Google, Meta, and these are all. They have recruited a lot in the pandemic times, and now kind of they got a full-on strength, and now they are reducing it. So we'll go with that. What kind of company you should choose? So that will be coming at the end of that education we have done. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, studying in India or moving overseas. Stay in India, so not studying in India. Okay, so how many of you guys want to make a career in India only? It's a very sensitive subject, I know. And how many people do you want to make okay, let's do how many people wants to make their career in overseas?
Let's see.
Okay, how many people wants to make a career in India? Oh, lot of people. Good. Or who wants to do startups? Anybody is interested in doing startups, entrepreneur?
At later stage.
Later stage. Later stage. Have you got any plan?
Actually, not.
Okay, I would say if you are doing that, early the better. If you think like later stage, once you move into corporate world, then it becomes very difficult.
I did not understand how.
Yeah. Do you guys actually help? Is there anything cell here which help for startups or entrepreneurs here in college?
Yes, sir. Entrepreneurship development.
Hey, is it there?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Even they have funding from the center. Means one some funding is seed funding for the different startup of our college, but nobody is started.
I think you should promote that. Okay, so studying in India, staying in India, or moving overseas. So what I did, right? So talk about me, right? So I actually stayed in India for a couple of years. I was in TCS, and then I shifted to iFlex, and then I found like financial services is the right place to grow your career. So I think I have spent almost 17 or 18 years overseas. So what I felt, I worked in India for a couple of years, so I don't know how it looks like working in India right now, so I'm not quite sure about that. But no, there's some points, right? So in longer term, if you like to, would you like to work, so you getting international exposure, of course. Getting international exposure, that means getting diverse exposure. That means not even, so when you work internationally, right, so per my experience, I have worked with lot of nationalities. I worked with people from Hong Kong, from China, from Australia, from Philippines, from Japan, from Singapore, UK, US, what else? French, France. I worked from all the culturally diverse people. And it's actually, if you want to progress in your career, what I felt is getting international exposure is actually important. Because if you work in India, so you won't get this culturally diverse people there. Right? You will be finding all of them in the same community, same culture. You won't understand how the other culture actually works. and how do you talk to them. So once, let's say you've been in India and suddenly you placed into an international something, and there are like people from all over the country. You need to, because they speak in a different English. Like the people, the China and people from Hong Kong or people from France, they all speak in a different English altogether. So you need to understand how they speak. So that's where the international exposure comes very important. Getting exposure to different cultures and different people from different countries. That's actually is very, very, very important. So I already told you the countries which I have been talking, and I think I almost talked to, I actually almost worked with almost all the Asia Pacific cultures. Just thinking which one I wouldn't have covered, maybe Taiwan. But yeah, so that's a very important thing, is that you get exposure with different cultures and different countries. Not even like getting exposure of like your workplace, this is actually also very important. Then workplace practices in the overseas country, of course, they are better, they are well protected. Like that means like if you are working over hours, like you're working overtime, so there are provisions for, like, companies can't do that. Means there are practices written. I'm not sure in India might be there, but yeah, those things are better. Salary package, of course, their savings potentials are higher. Of course, you will get more in when you are overseas. Professional growth and better recognition at work. So what I felt is I have worked in. So let's talk about something about Japan, right? Because anybody knows about Japan as a country, like what that country is. Do you know about its culture? Yeah, you can tell me. Go ahead. Stand up. Do you know anything about Japan? He was telling me, that guy. Anything. Just tell me anything about Japan. Whatever you know.
Best for software industries.
What's that?
Best for software industries.
Okay.
And good in culture.
Which culture?
Cultures.
Okay.
Higher technology.
And anime community.
Correct.
Men are really hardworking.
Okay.
And it's in a financial crunch. The population is aging, so it's in a constant deflation. The money is deflating, so they're printing, and there is a real estate crash in 80s, which is still impacting now. So and their culture is such that the people don't migrate there, so the people don't assimilate there. So and the people live longer than anywhere in the world. It has the highest age than anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Good. Right point. Let's talk about Japan. Right? So I landed in Japan for no good reason. I didn't want to go there. Somehow landed there. I didn't know what that country was. How you had some knowledge about those things. I didn't even have any knowledge. I was working for iFlex. My client was UBS. I was in. I was in Sydney, Australia right now. So they gave me a chance to go to Japan for an assignment, and I didn't know anything. Okay, something is there, let's go. In Australia, I was single, you can go anywhere in India. Went to Japan. I never knew that I will be spending 14 years in Japan from that time. And thanks, man. So I never knew I will be spending 14 years. And my family loved the country due to lots of reasons. There's some reason I didn't like it. Low crime rates, politeness, courteousness of Japan, clean environment. One of the things which you see here, one thing I will okay, next point is very important. If you can bear earthquake, you can learn, master Japanese, and you are non-vegetarian. Non-vegetarian is actually very important. Japan is the best country to live in. No other country in the world can kind of compete Japan. Now there are some other reasons, because Japan is like, there are, like, as you told, it's a deflationary, the pressures are there, and the aging issues are there. Like there are a lot of people who are like 65 years old. So what is happening here is you are actually paying superannuation, like pension, right? So whenever in companies there's a pension needs to be deducted, you are earning pension for the people who are actually older there. But Longer term, of course, Japan is not good, but short term, Japan is really good. Yep, they have got technology is like they are technology advanced country. You will like Japan. The career is pretty good, but one thing which is I have not written, I think I may have forgotten that. Yeah, is long hours. So Japanese people are actually known for working long hours, and there is an issue going on in Japan. There are people getting killed just for working long hours. Means there are people who are working for 15 hours, whole of the week, and they have been killed. That's the situation. So if you are going to Japan, get prepared for that. I'm not saying get prepared for getting killed. What I'm saying is there are people, there are HR policies to stop it, but get prepared to work long hours. Get prepared, but you will be paid according. If you are working long hours, of course you will be paid. You will be there are you will get what is it? I don't know what is it. Some extra working. You will get that money for that long hours. So let's talk about Japan. Right? So I lived there for 14 years, and if you are planning to go Japan in the future, Japanese language is actually extremely important. If you want to gain your career in Japan, I didn't do that. I didn't learn Japanese. I never thought that Japanese is important, and that is one of the reasons probably I thought of leaving the Japan. But anybody who wants to go to Japan, learn Japanese now. And again, I'm saying again and again, Japan is the best country to live in. If you can, earthquake is fine. You can live. I was there you remember 2011 earthquake, the Miyagi earthquake which came in 2011 March. I'm actually there. I saw how the earthquake happens, but it's bearable. It's not only you are seeing earthquake. A lot of people are there. So earthquake should not be a reason. So mastering Japanese, of course, is extremely important. I didn't do it. Anybody want to go to Japan and make your career in Japan, learn Japanese now. Go to there are a lot of online resources, learn Japanese. Learning Japanese is actually very important. Like a person who know Japanese, a person who doesn't know Japanese, he will be the person who knowing Japanese will be preferred in the jobs. So Japan is really a nice country to live in. Anybody wants to grow career, come to me personally. I can guide you. I got a lot of people in Japan. How you want to progress your career in Japan? Let me know. I can guide you on that one. So going back, yeah. So disadvantages of working overseas, right? So away from your parents. Yeah, if you want to if there is an emergency, of course you need to come here back and forth. It happened with me a number of times. I have to come, but that's the nature of when you're working overseas. You need to think. So family thing is actually very important here, right? So when we take decisions right now, you are in college. You don't think about your own family. Okay, you won't be single forever, right? You pass out from here, you work, maybe like 4 or 5 years down the line, you will set up your own family. So think about your family. Don't think short term. Think about 10 years from now. What I am going to do, what my family is going to do, where I am going to raise my family. Am I going to raise my family in India? Am I going to raise my family in overseas? Think about that now. So usually I didn't do that. I mean, I'm a college, I'm a single. I will get married and I don't know what I'll do. But for you, what I'm saying is, career is important. Think about career, but family is actually equally important. Think about that. I'm not saying about your parents' family. Of course, they are there. But I'm thinking about your own family. You'll be setting up your own family. Think about that. Where are you going to raise your kids? You're going to raise your kids. Are you going to raise your kids in India? Are you going to raise your kids outside? What are you going to do? Think about that. Think about that 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line. Think about that now. Don't think after like 2 years I will get married, then I will think whatever. No. Do it now. What do you want to do? You are the one who is going to decide, not your parents. Parents will get you married after that. It's free. You have to decide where you are going to raise your family. That's it. So it's important. So you are raising your own family, finding out surveys, daycare could be challenging. So that's one thing very important. It's kind of, I'm giving you a live example. We have been through it. If you are in overseas, think about it. There won't be any maid servant. You have to do your things by yourself. Prepare for that. Here in India, you get maid servants. You get to those things won't be available. So think about that. Those are the disadvantages. Flying back on the pollution level. Now these things always comes into my mind, pollution level, right? So now I'm not saying like you should leave the country just because of pollution, but that's a reality. You can't avoid it. There are issues in pollution like almost all the cities like all the metro cities in India, right? So Durgapur probably is not much. It's not that. It's not a tier 1 or maybe it's a tier 2 city, right? Durgapur, tier 3. I mean, tier 2 or tier 3, I guess. Yeah, so probably pollution issues are not here, but all the cities
But
go
more.
Was it?
Pollution issue is more there.
Yeah, because of the steel plant and other things, right? Yeah. But yeah, you go to like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, or any cities, Bangalore, pollution is always there and it's going to rise. So, and I don't know why Indian government doesn't think too much of it. Means if I were given a solution like whatever, first you fix the pollution problem. That is actually extremely important. So you need to think about that. So yeah, do you guys think like pollution levels are high? Do you think is it a major problem in India? So what's that?
Long-term effects.
It is there, right? So now you know in Delhi, right? What happens in November, December? The situation is pollution levels are so high you can't even go out. They need to shut down the schools. Schools have to be closed. The children can't go to school. That's the situation, and it's going to get worse. Yeah. So if I'm given an opportunity to come to India, I would never work in Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore. Never. I could not work in those cities. The pollution levels are too high. It's very, very difficult to work in those cities. So that's important thing. Disadvantages. Okay, consideration for choosing country. So Japan, I told you, right? So you want to go to overseas, right? So language barrier. So that's actually a very important thing. If you want to go to Japan, learn Japanese now. If you go to any European countries, I think a lot of European countries again there are language barriers. Learn the language thing. Don't get language come into your career. So you don't want, okay, I don't know this language, I'm in this country, and because I don't know language, I'm not able to progress. That should not happen. Your technical skills, technology skills, hardcore skills are important. But if you want to move in non-English speaking countries like Japan or Europe or any other like European or like non-English, you need to learn about Japanese, about language. Language is extremely important. You have to get the certificates. For Japan, there are like N4, N3, N2. There are certificates are available. So you need to go for that. You need to appear in the exams. You need to pass those exams, and employers actually ask for those certificates if you want to like progress in those countries. So language barrier is very, very important if you want to move overseas. Where you would like to raise your family, I already told you. Think about it. Not 2 years. Think about now. Think about in final year. Okay, what I want to do with my family. Where I want to set it up. Should they be in India? Do you want to be outside India? Think about it now. That's an important. What are the education available for children, right? So what are do you have any education options? Like you go to Western countries, of course there are English schools, speaking English schools are there. But in Japan the problem was because I was there for 14 years. I know the problem is most of them are the international schools and are very expensive. So you don't want your kids to go to Japanese schools. But I learned my lesson. If you want to go to Japan, want to set up your family in Japan, send your kids to Japanese schools. Do that. It's important. They need to learn the culture. Even if you don't know, let them learn. They will be staying in the country. Don't send him to international school. That's a mistake I did. If I were like to do a time machine and put 14 years back, I would probably rectify that issue. So yeah, salary taxes. Yeah, those things are very much. I think most of the developed countries like Japan or Australia. Singapore is a different thing. Singapore is only 15% taxes. Most of the countries 30% taxes like India. I think India is 30%, right? It's straight 30%. So yeah, same thing. So citizenship thing, that's also a thing. What you want to, if you want to settle in overseas, you don't want to be living in overseas and don't want to get a citizenship. Doesn't make sense. If you want to live in a country for like 10 years, 12 years, don't live in a country and don't get a citizenship. It doesn't make sense. You are living in a country, get the citizenship of that country. So you feel you are belonging to that country. Don't think, okay, 10 years I may go back to India, should I get a citizenship, should I not get it? Doesn't matter, that's a different thing. Even if you want to go back to India, you get a citizenship of that country where you are in, you can always come back to India. Nobody is going to stop you not to come to India. That's not going to happen. What I'm saying is, you are staying in overseas, you are planning to stay in overseas for 5 years, 6 years, get the citizenship of that country. If you are in Japan, I did a mistake, I didn't get a Japanese citizenship, I should have done that. If you are in Australia, living there for 5, 6 years, Australian citizenship. US is a different thing because you can't get a citizenship for Indians, can't do that because of Indians and Chinese, they can't do it, it's difficult, but yeah, you can't do that, but other countries do that. So, through naturalization, naturalization means, does anyone know what the naturalization means? That thing, number 6, everybody knows? Guess, what does it mean?
After living some years, they will give it.
Correct. Naturalization. That's what that means. That means you live in that country for some time and you apply for that citizenship and then you get it. When you get it, if your like family or your kids are born there, most of the countries they offer citizenship to them by default. So you get by naturalization, your children get by birth. So many like US does that. US like if your kids are born there, they will get the citizenship. You will not get it, but your kids will get it. So does India? Yeah. So that's one thing about dual citizenship. It's an important concept. Does anybody know what's a dual citizenship? What does it mean and what countries offer? Can somebody tell me?
India don't offer it.
India don't offer. What's it? Yeah, correct.
Having citizenship of 2 countries.
Yeah, India doesn't offer. Any other country which doesn't offer? US doesn't offer dual citizenship.
Offer it.
Yeah, it is offering. It is all the Western nations. Canada, US, Australia, UK, they all offer dual citizenship. Now, that's the reason people are attracted to these countries, because they offer dual citizenship. That means you go to that country, you acquire a citizenship, go to another country, you acquire a citizenship, you can maintain 2 citizenship. But the countries like Japan, China, India, they don't offer dual citizenship. So that's an important consideration for you. So you go to Japan, but you have to think about it. If you get a citizenship of Japan, you have to surrender the citizenship of India. That you have to do anyway. Even if you go to Australia or Canada or US, if you get a citizenship for there, you have to surrender citizenship for India. You have to do that anyway. But the advantage of those countries, you get a citizenship there, you go to UK, get a UK citizenship. After that, you go to USA, work there, you get a citizenship. You get a dual citizenship. You can do that. That's the advantage which Western countries are offering. So US, you can't get citizenship. Indians getting citizenship for US is extremely difficult, not possible because of, like, you know about the green card rules and all those things. So US is not the country for if you want to go and acquire a citizenship for yourself. US is not the country for that. You have to go for like UK or like Australia or other English speaking countries. So that's another important consideration for you. Talking about the countries, right? So Japan, I already talked about that. Now Japan is actually a very attractive option right now. Right now is very attractive option. The thing is, they are running short of skills. They don't have enough skills, and Japan wants Indian engineers to go and work there for them. They want it, and if you learn Japanese, you can speak Japanese, getting a job in Japan is easy, not difficult. It's easy, you can work there, but the only thing is like dual citizenship problem and learning language is important. So yeah, so anybody who wants to know more about Japan, wants to work in Japan in overseas, I lived there for 14 years. I know a lot of people, I have some contacts. If you want to do, get in touch with me. Any question? Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, you said that we have to learn Japanese for career. We have to have problem if we do not learn.
You have.
So, do you think that effective if we do not learn Japanese for career?
It will be. I have suffered because of it. If you want to go to Japan, learn Japanese now. If not now, go there, learn Japanese in 2 years, do the certificates, otherwise your career will be blocked. You have to do that.
The persons who do not know Hindi, they are not that affected.
What was that?
But in our country, the persons who do not know English.
India and Japan is different. India, more people speak English than Hindi. In Japan, it's not like that. Japan is a country, they are proud of speaking Japanese. They are proud of their Japanese culture. They are proud of their Japanese language. Japanese language is recognized a lot. In Australia, my son is studying Japanese right now in his school. It's like that. So India and Japan entirely. In Japan, you don't know Japanese, you can't even live your day-to-day life. That's the situation. So India is different thing, yeah. Even if you don't know Hindi, you can still work here. It's not a problem. Because everyone is speaking.
Sankalp, I have one question. Suppose if I get a certificate from India that I have learned Japanese, etc. So do they consider that?
Yeah, of course. Because Japan, the certificates they call it as N4, N5, N4, N3, N2, N1. You can get those certificates anywhere in the world, doesn't matter. Certificates are important. Because the companies, they ask for the certificates. Because they say, oh, okay, I know Japanese. How do you know Japanese? Then you can like start talking to them, but do you have anything? Because they need the certificate. That's important. Yeah. So yeah, any country is fine. It's not necessary to go. You can learn it. You can learn Japanese in here. There are institutes in India. They are teaching it, but online is fine. My son actually is N5 and N4 certified online. He learned it mostly by himself. I didn't do anything important. That is important matter, but I should have done it. So that's about Japan. It's very, very, very attractive option right now. Even more attractive than USA right now. Very, very attractive. And they are running short of skills right now. So very, very good country to settle in if you want. Singapore. Now I lived there for 3 years because I'm just listing down those countries where I lived there, so I know about it, how it looks like culture, how to get the jobs there. So now Singapore is a kind of English-speaking country. It's not a Western country, it's an English-speaking country. You don't have to learn Chinese, you don't have to learn Mandarin to speak. It's not like Japan. So even if you don't learn Mandarin, Chinese, it's not like your career will be growing. You can still grow. Was it?
There's a lot of
Yeah, a lot of Indians. Right, that's true. Highly populated Indian diaspora already done. Recently, now what has happened, it's gone very expensive recently. A lot of foreigners are going there. For getting into citizenship is not an easy mode. In Japan, you can get citizenship in 5 years. In Singapore, it will take more time. You have to get a PR and citizenship. It becomes difficult, and then just because there are a lot of foreigners there. Singapore has become too much competitive. Getting job in Singapore is not that easy right now. You can get it, but you have to struggle. Getting in Japan is easier than Singapore, right? That's the situation. Just because a lot of people are there are a lot of people already. Singapore has gone through that phase of development, and people like and Indians were attracted to Singapore because of its proximity to India, like 2 hours from here, any city, Hyderabad or Chennai, there are flights available, you can go in 3 hours. So that's the advantage. One of the important things which is that red dot, this one, right? Yeah, this one. This is actually a very important thing which people forget about it. Male citizens and permanent citizens need to serve in national service. So again, going back to that topic of raising your family, I'm again going back to that topic. If you want to raise your family in Singapore, this is an important factor, and this is one of the things I didn't go to Singapore because I had a son, and you will be wasting your 2 years there, and you cannot stop it. You go there for some reason. If you have a son there, he has to serve 2 years there. You cannot stop it. If you do it, they'll be like some punishment or something is there. So that's a straight loss of this. Not applicable for you. It will be applicable for your family. Again, I'm saying family is important. Setting up. So straight loss of 2 years before you begin your career. So that's about Singapore. Australia. Let's go back that one. Australia is very foreigner friendly country. Very much foreigner friendly. Talking about these 3 countries, Australia is the best, I would say, for foreign friends. You don't have to talk about English is good enough. If you know English, you can survive there. Permanent residency, you can get it even while sitting here in this India. While you're sitting in India, you're doing a job, you can get a PR, move there, you can get a citizenship. Again, it gives you dual citizenship. You can go to another country, you get a citizenship. For children, for education, it's almost free. If you are permanent resident, your children are there, it's free. Their university is free. This is one thing which people don't know much. This is a very important thing. You can, if you really want to study in USA, or sorry, not study, you want to work in USA, whatever, now USA is the place I want to work, that's the only country I would like to work. So you can use this route which I have written there. You know about H1B thing, right, in US, right? So you need to go for lottery and those things. And if you don't get H1B, then you are stuck. What this route is saying, if you have an Australian passport which you will get in 4 years, you can use this route to go and study in US. Not study, work in US. This route doesn't use H1B, it is called an E1B visa. You can go and work there. It's a 2-year renewal. Keep renewing. You don't have to go to lottery system, nothing. Use this route and go to Australia. I came to know very late about this, but you can use it. It's a very hidden route. Not many people are doing it, but it's there. UK. Permanent resident scheme is stopped there. It used to be there, like people used to go like what Australia is offering for PR. UK used to do that. They stopped doing it. It's not there. So the only way to enter through countries, you want to become a student, do a overseas education, but again, education is very expensive there. You have to like fund yourself, you might get a scholarship, it may not be that easy. Or you can sponsor an employee firm, they sponsor you and then you can get it. But UK is becoming not a good option because UK is not, they are kind of open more for European countries and but not that much open for India. So I would suggest if you want to go to UK, get sponsored by a UK company, stay there for 5 years, you can get a citizenship. So it's not a bad country for because dual citizenship is there. You stay for 5 years, you get your kids' educations are mostly I think free, so it's not an issue. USA. Okay, we know preferred destination for Indians to do study and work in them. But you know what has happened recently, like H1B, you know about this lottery system, I think everyone knows about it, and it's not, so you can get H1B, if you don't get it, then you're kind of stuck. So if you want to know a preferred thing, I would never say go to USA for work. You go for studies, after a study again you go to the same H1B loop, and you will be always into H1B loop and this one, and they will be hunting for visas, and this, you will be always doing that. You will be permanent, you will be until as you get a green card. And getting a green card for US Indians, very difficult. So I wouldn't suggest USA, that's my personal opinion, to go and settle in USA. I wouldn't suggest that. European countries, yes, they are good. France, Germany, Scandinavian countries are fine, but they are too cold. So I wouldn't go there. France is probably fine, Germany is okay, but Scandinavian, I mean to say like Norway, Nordic countries, Sweden. You want to go and settle, of course there are top 5 countries for the cost, quality of living. You want to go there, live there, but it's very cold. I don't want to live there. So, but you can consider them. But again, language is the concern. If you want to go to those countries, make sure learn the language. If you are in France, learn French. If you are in Germany, learn German. If not now, you go there in 1 or 2 years, learn it, whatever certificate has to be done, get it. So again, so that's issue with the European countries about language. So anything on that one? I think we're almost done. The last one, IT, this one. IT service was the IT. So this is mainly for the computer science and ECE students. The reason I want to bring this up because I felt that these companies, right, you talk about TCS, Wipro, Infosys, Cognizant, Accenture, these are the service-based companies, right? What they do is they hire you and they have got their own clients, all the big clients, top like Fortune 500, and they place you there, right? What they do is, right, so that's IT service companies, and they get a lot of money from these companies, and they pay only probably 20% to you. So what you are doing, actually, you end up not getting what you are worth for. You can work for these companies for a few years, maybe a couple of years, 3 years for your career to gain the experience. But I would never suggest to be in these companies for rest of your life. So my suggestion to you is like all these companies, these companies good for launchpad. I mean, you're launching your career in these companies, fine, but don't stay in these companies for a longer time. Use the companies which I am telling on number 3 is the IT captive units. Anybody know what an IT captive unit is? Anybody knows what does it mean? What does it do? So nowadays, what's happening? Large banks like the banks I work for, Mizo Securities and Jefferies, and a lot of banks are there. What they are doing is they are not doing the number one anymore, because what they are doing, they are setting up their own IT units in India. Taking about of any, like you take example of Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, PNP, you name a company, they have set up their IT units here. They don't do they do bit of number one, little bit, but they are setting up their own captive units here. That means they want like their employees to work for them, so they can have more control. That's where I am saying you should be targeting these companies in long term, not these companies, not number one. Number two, while the time I was writing this, and now you know what has happened. All of these companies, Google, Amazon, Facebook, they are not retrenched right now, but Microsoft, you already know these companies have already laid off the employees. So I'm not sure whether you want to work for these companies, but yeah, you need to be careful about that. But advantage is they are product-based companies. You are working for yourself. So number two, number three, you are working for yourself. You are not working for third party, which is there for number one. So in short term, as I said, number one is okay. But your target, if you want to be, this should be your target. This should be your target. I worked for, let's say, so Mizo, I worked for Mizo for 14 years, and I was working for their equities IT department, working for the company itself, not working for we had extension. On my side, I worked on both sides. So I worked for TCS. So when I was in Mizo, TCS was on the other side. So TCS, there are people from TCS who are working for me. Yeah, for short term we can do, but yeah, long term you don't want to do. Then what happens, right? When you do this, these companies actually save money, right? They will be giving money to their own employees and giving money to these companies. Why do they want to do that? So I've already written these companies' names here. If you want, then you can target them. Because I'm in financial services, so I know about these companies. These are financial technology, and if anybody wants to grow their career in technology, financial technology is the way to go forward, because it's lucrative. You won't have this problem what you are seeing here. What you are seeing is they are getting laid off, but this problem will not be there, because these companies will always be existing, because they're all financial based companies. Your money has to move from one part to another part always. Your trading in exchanges has to happen always. Even if your stock market is going down, trading is always going to happen. So these companies they will lay off, of course, they will lay off sometimes, but their layoffs will be not massive, 11,000, 12,000 people. So this is a company. If you want to know any more about these companies, how to target these companies, talk to me. I may help you, because I am in financial technology industry for almost 18 years. So I have contacts in almost all the companies. So I know a lot of companies and I know how to get into them. So yeah. So I think that's all, I guess. Yeah. Any questions? Maybe was it boring?
Sir, what should be, for the coming recession, any of your thoughts?
Yeah.
What should be?
So very good question. Yeah, recession is happening. The year of recession is going to start. So my guess is don't work for these tech companies. Make Google and product-based companies. Don't work for them. I'm kind of getting skeptical about them. You get a job and you never know they will lay off. So target for service-based company would be still okay. I don't think so. TCS, Wipro, Infosys, they will have a problem. So you can still work for them. They won't have a long-term problem. But again, don't keep working for those companies for a long term. Always keep switching for you are working. If you are in service-based company, your clients are on the other side. You become the client. You don't keep working for the service-based company. You sit on the other side. That's what your target is. These are the companies. You are in service-based company. You are sitting here. You are serving. These are your clients. You are serving for them. Your target in long term, you should be sitting here. This point. That's what your target should be. And if you are in these companies, that's what, because I'm in financial technology, so I know these big banks. If you are in here, you are in control of yourself. You know you are working for that company. You are not working for IT service company. So my answer to you would be, yeah, product-based companies, with what has happened, I don't know. You should not work for them. Maybe you can work for some time, but I don't see any future right now. At least for 2023 decision is coming in. You don't know what will happen in 2024. So yeah, I would avoid them. Any other questions? Do you have anything, Shvendu? Maybe I was too boring.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I want to make my career as an analyst in any of the investment banks.
Fantastic. Talk to me.
So, how I have to?
Okay, good point. What you should do, you have to do MBA. You are in which stream right now?
Chemical engineering.
What was it?
Chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering, right? So yeah, you have to change your stream. So what you do is work for a few years.
And the code.
Code, wherever, doesn't matter. Chemical, IT, whichever, work for, doesn't matter where you work. You can work for code, no problem. Keep working there. Earn money, save money, work for, then you go for top Ivy League colleges, MBA. Top Ivy means only target top Ivy in US and UK. Top Ivy, that means top 10. You have to go for GMAT. GMAT is not an easy, you have to go, the score is about 720, 730. You need to go, you can start doing GMAT right now. You don't have to wait. Start appearing right now. GMAT scores are valid for 5 years. So you can start appearing, get yourself used to it. You need to know at least have 730, 740 score. Get into these top Ivy League colleges, go into there. And I would suggest go to UK MBA rather than US MBA because you will have the visa issue. You know, you are Indian passport getting visa issue. But UK, there are two advantages. UK MBA is 1 year. So you'll be wasting only 1 year. You have to put, it will be expensive. It will be damn expensive. It means all your 5 years savings will be like gone there. It will be that expensive. But it will work. It will be work. Where to go there 5 years from there, go in UK, like I would say like Oxford or Cambridge, or just do online, you will find it out. 1 year only spend that, then you can switch to investment banking, like any of these banks which I already told you, Morgan Stanley and these, that's of it. I would suggest go for UK MBA rather than US MBA. That's better for long term. Yeah, but that's a very, very good career choice. Again, if I put myself into time machine 1999, I would actually go for that. But sadly I can't do that now. Any other question? Is that it? Thank you. I would probably was very boring. And thank you for your time today. So my LinkedIn profile, who knows? Somebody was knowing that. I can probably, is there any WhatsApp group or somebody I can share the LinkedIn profile to you, probably Chanakya. I'll share the LinkedIn profile to you, so you can like distribute it to all the WhatsApp group. So from there you can send me the LinkedIn request. So if you have any questions, ask me, I will be happy to answer you. So you are like from this institute, I graduated from here, I will be more than happy to help. So yeah, so anything in future, please come and ask. Don't hesitate. Anything else? Okay, I think that's it for them.
Thank you, sir, for on behalf of SciSail. And we hope for more learning opportunities from you. Like whenever you visit India, and you can come to us and
I will be coming at least in next 2 years. I know. But whenever, yeah.
Yeah, please do come. Thank you again, sir, and all the best for your future.
Sure, no worries. Thanks. This is my number. I am available on WhatsApp also.
Okay.
Make it large.